Hey guys, this is Awesome John 22 coming at you today with another review, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Animated Starscream. I love this guy. So cool. Not the only Starscream mold we got. I believe we got activators as well, but this is Voyager class Starscream from Transformers Animated. Just a fantastic figure with so many great repaints, as a Seeker should have. Oh, so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's review it by getting it transformed up through the magic of jump cuts. And here we have Starscream in his vehicle mode. I mean, look at this. Let me adjust my camera a little bit more. Just look at this thing. I mean, wow, look at that. It's just so... It captures the look of the on-screen counterpart so well. Even the underside, which is pretty junky, still kind of has a very similar profile to the on-screen counterpart. Just very, very cool. As you can see, he has full landing gear, which do fold up nicely. These back landing gear actually becoming segments of his legs. So let's go ahead and get them folded up and out of the way. You can see, I mean, wow, just like this. Let me move the camera up a bit so I can kind of fiddle around with him some more. Just look at that. The paint job on this guy is great with that vibrant kind of maroon red and the kind of gray blue. Some great gold Decepticon symbols there, which are just fantastic. You can see the paint continues to his fins back here, which has some great molded detail. There's some great molded detail all through this section and all across his wings. You can see up front on the nose, black nose cone, translucent cockpit with an actual cockpit molded in there. Look at that. That is so cool. Great silver there on the back. The paint, great paint, just continues all the way through, and he does have adjustable thrusters on his back, and he does have these, you can see they're clearly missiles, which are part of his arms, his robot mode arms, which can fold forward and give him an attack function in this mode, as you can see, which, I mean, you know I have to love this figure, because he has both of his missiles. I didn't lose a single one of them. But yeah, let's put them back so I'm less likely to shoot one off and lose it. But yeah, just, oh my god, just so cool. Look at that. You can see him here next to another Decepticon, and you can see they're about the same size, both Voyager class figures. So not a terrible scale, even though, look, no, why are you not bigger? But anyway, yes, so good. I mean, just it's so nice. I love it. I love this figure. I loved Starscream in Animated. He was just such a cool character and such a threat to literally everyone. Like, everyone, even himself most of the time. And creating all the Seekers by cloning himself, that was just so nifty. And I love it. And you can look at these great air intakes up front. Zoom in on those. Just, I mean, look at that. That's just spiffy. Air intakes into there too. Just a spiffy jet mode, and I love it. No separate accessories, which is always nice. Unless you count the missiles, which aren't technically separate from the rest of the thing. But they do plug in. And they stay pretty well, and the buttons are fairly difficult to hit by accident, I would know, because otherwise I would have lost the missiles by now. But yeah, I mean, just so cool. And I really want to get the other Seekers. But they're always marked up so high and so expensive. I think his wings are bowing a little bit. I'll have to deal with that at some point, but it still doesn't look bad. I want to get the other Seekers, but they're always so marked up now. It's just hard to do, but I will get them eventually, and as I do, I will review them, of course. Just so nice. I just really love this guy, guys, and oh man, yeah. Let's go ahead and get him transformed, shall we? Yeah, we're gonna start by coming down here and separating these thruster sections, like so, which separates all of this and activates his automorph feature, which brings all of this down, which brings the arms down, kind of, not really, which brings this back, and he pretty much transforms himself. Look at that. I mean, slightly assisted by us people. Like, we still have to clip everything in place and kind of get everything started, but for the most part, he transforms himself. I mean, look at that. So cool. You can see in this mode, I mean, still have to open up his feet, which are his thrusters, of course, and fold these fins flush with his legs. And I do like to open these up Oops, unpegged that. I do like to open these up as well, even though technically you don't really have to. But yeah, I mean, oh, wow. Just, first of all, let's talk about this guy's proportions. He is big and tall and lanky, and he kind of has this natural gait to him that his legs do open further. There we go. He has this kind of natural gait to him that just makes it look like he is swaggering across the screen. And I mean, I couldn't ask for more from this figure. This is just so spot on Starscream. Zooming in to his face, you can see, let me see if I can adjust my light a little bit better. Yeah, some really great light piping, not in just his optics, but in his mouth as well. And you can see all the really good paint from his vehicle mode carries over. Everything that is part of his vehicle mode that's supposed to make up a part of his robot mode makes up the corresponding part of his robot mode. You can see the Decepticon symbols are now, focus, there we go, are now facing forward and right side up in his robot mode. And he is just one tall and lanky and cool looking SOB, and I adore him for that. I mean, yeah, there are problems, and we'll get to them in a minute, but for the most part, I mean, just look at that. He has his missiles, of course, that he can fire in pretty much any direction. And, yeah, and they do, of course, still rotate on the same joint that they used in vehicle mode. So you can fold them up so that they're not hanging down so low towards the ground. You may see that he's kind of leaning at the hips here, and that is because of the one issue I have with this figure, and that is that his legs are on these ratchets, and they can either kind of go straight up like so, which, I mean, I guess that looks fine, but I don't know, and it's kind of meh. Or they can go one stage out, and then he has this really wide gait, or you can kind of put him like that, and oops, and have him kind of thrust in one hip out like so, and I kind of like it because it makes it look like he's full of swaggering along, and I mean, I don't think that looks too bad. It's kind of annoying, but I think in terms of taking something annoying and making the best of it, I think this does a fairly good job. In terms of his posability, of course, he is quite posable, as is the norm with these figures. You can, bring his weapon down so I can show this out better. You can rotate his arm, more or less a full 360. The wings do get in the way, which I'm not going to try to force it. But they would rotate a full 360 on ratchet joints, no less. He, of course, has a rotation here at the elbow that I already showed off on this side. He has a elbow crunch, which I don't like, but it's not too bad, I guess. It's not like it takes away too much from the figure. For whatever reason, his hands are also fully articulated, fingers and thumb. The only thing that's not articulated is on them is the individual fingers themselves don't move; they all move together. And I don't know why that's there. There's no reason for it to be there, as far as I can see. But I mean, it's pretty cool that it's there at all. As I already mentioned, he's on ratchets at the waist, and quite frankly, I kind of wish he wasn't. And he does bend on ratchets at the knee, which brings us to the other slight issue I have with this figure, and that's the shape of his legs. Zooming in, you can see that's not mistransformation. That's not some quirk of the way I pose him. That is the shape that his legs end up in robot mode. But from any angle that you're going to be looking at this guy, typically the strange bowing of the legs doesn't really, I think, detract from the look of the figure at all, and in fact kind of adds to that heroic, tall, lanky, big-chested aesthetic that was so common during Transformers Animated that I really enjoy. So I don't detract any points for it. Stan's great, obviously. So yeah, just very well engineered. Of course, ball jointed head that I forgot to show off, but kind of limited by these bits of the fuselage to either side of it, but just really nice. Just really nice figure overall, and big too. Bringing in Transformers Animated Optimus Prime, we can see he is about a half a head taller than Optimus Prime, and he certainly looks taller than Optimus Prime. He looks bigger and lankier, and the big wings give him like this added dynamic to him, and just very cool. You can see him next to Optimus Prime. He looks very nice, and I'm really liking it. I just really like this figure, guys. I really like this mold. It's a great mold. And I mentioned that I really enjoyed Starscream in Transformers Animated, and this figure just does him so much justice. It's like when I reviewed Transformers Prime First Edition Starscream and made note of how thoroughly it does a good job representing the look and feel of that character, how well it replicates that character. This does the same thing for animated Starscream, who I will go to my grave proclaiming is a better character than Prime Starscream, and most of the Prime characters actually, because they devoted so much time to this guy and just made him such a fleshed out, threatening villain with his own wants and desires, and I absolutely adored it. And this figure, for anyone who feels the same way I do that this version of Starscream was great, you need this figure. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful figure, a beautiful, beautiful representation of that character we all love, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. And there's really nothing more to say about this guy. There's no real legitimate negatives that I have regarding this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and end the review here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I certainly enjoyed making it. And to ensure that I can continue to make these reviews, because, again, I really enjoy them, please help me out by liking, subscribing, leave a comment down below if you feel so inclined. In the description down below, you will find links to all the stuff I'm working on. Check those out. You will also find a link to my collections video, which I still have not updated. I'm working on it. But check it out. If you see anything in it that you'd like me to review, let me know and I'll see what I can do. This has been AwesomeJohn22, and I will talk to you guys later.